Burisma and the Ukraine. So what does this all mean? Well, we're going to find out. U.S. Distinguished Professor at Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum, thank you so much for being here. How confident are you that the oversight will get these emails from the National Archive, or do you think they'll go? They'll hit a. Do you think they'll actually release these, and will we get any more information from them?
John, the screen froze. Can you please just repeat that? I'm so sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Do you think that the National Archives are actually going to release these emails, and will we have any new information in them?
I doubt so, John. I mean, it does seem as if, there's a concerted effort. Like, remember, the National Archives is also the people that wanted Donald Trump's documents back, right? And in a normal process, the Presidential Records Act would have protected President Trump from possessory interest of the documents. So you can imagine the surprise of people like me who saw a search warrant and thought, that doesn't seem appropriate for a former president. So if it comes to anything that I think implicates Donald Trump, it does seem like government agencies are all there. They're all in. But when it comes to protecting the Biden family, it seems like they're all in. And so I seriously doubt it. Remember, the IRS whistleblowers, John, said there was a lot to investigate. They just didn't get a chance, right? We have no idea what they would have ultimately uncovered. And guess what? You don't have offshore accounts unless you really don't want to pay taxes and you've got something to hide. So if there's some aliases involved in email names, that's just another example of how to escape from something that you don't want people to know you're doing.
Let's get to this one of the emails. This one was regarding a call with President of Ukraine. It was sent to Biden's alias, Robert L. Peters, as well as Hunter Biden. Do you think that there's any plausible reason that Hunter Biden should have been CC'd on an email regarding U.S. foreign policy in the Ukraine?
No, it's an incredible admission, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why would he is not an official of the federal government. John, it's worse than that. He's a foreign agent that didn't even register. The reason we make people register as foreign agents, John, is because we know they're doing business overseas and we don't want them to peddle their influence. It just so happens that Hunter Biden knew people. He knew his father, and that was who's being peddled, right? So for him to be there, to me, that's the ultimate red flag. Why in the world would a foreign agent who hasn't even been registered as a foreign agent, who is doing business with a foreign government and receiving millions of dollars, be copied on an official email that would be sent to a head of state? Hunter Biden is not in the government. He is an unregistered foreign agent. And so, no, I don't see how there's ever a basis for that.
So, Thane, I mean, if these emails end up showing that this was all happening, the FARA charge, which we know Hunter could possibly face, do you think that this is the smoking gun?
It's a good point, John. I mean, it's a good point, right? Because remember, you know what quid pro quo means? It means this for that.
Right.
We know what the this is, right? We know that you get money, but what's the that, right? So anything that ties Hunter Biden to Ukraine and his dad, that's a holy trinity, or let's call it a unholy trinity. If there's anything that has both of their names on it, and it also has the head of state of Ukraine, that's not a good sign if you're a Biden.
And just real quickly, what would that mean for the vice president at the time, for Biden?
Well, that's an interesting question, right? We learned during the Mueller investigation, John, that the Justice Department doesn't bring prosecution or investigations of presidents while they're in office. That doesn't really apply to vice presidents. And guess what? He's no longer the vice president. The difference is that Joe Biden is now the president, and under official DOJ policy, they wouldn't investigate him now. That doesn't mean that Congress can't use that as a basis for crimes and misdemeanors, or worse. Remember what the impeachable offense is. We now know it's crimes and misdemeanors. We hear that a lot because of Donald Trump. But you know what else is? Bribery and treason, right? And so if this looks like bribery, crime and misdemeanors, John, is very amorphous. No one knows what it means, but everybody knows what bribery looks like. So yes, this would be damning evidence, but again, I don't think it would apply criminally to Joe Biden until he left office.
We will see how this all plays out. And more importantly, we'll see whether or not we get those emails. Thane, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, John.
Coming up, former President Trump is now facing an